The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.
Pow. What's up, guys? Well, today I got another story for you. This is more of a prison story. I'm going to talk about doing time in Lewisburg Penitentiary. Now, back in the day when I was a kid, my first bid, I went away, I was 19 years old. At the age of 19, I caught a gun charge, and I did 3 months from Rikers Island. Then from there, you went to Bear Hill. Now, if anybody knows anything about doing time in the state, you know you always go downstate first before you go upstate. That was a quick bid, 90 days. It was a nice bid. You got to know prison, and it was a fun time because I was a kid. And, when you're a kid, you're young, dumb, full of cum. You got a lot of energy. You get packages sent up in the state prison. You do some gambling, you play cards, you work out, you make some friends. And by the time you know it, you're home. It goes by quick. The small bids are very easy to do. You do a little time, you go home, you feel like a movie star, and you're back on the street, But I don't recommend it to no kids to do any time. Actually, what happened was today I was speaking to this kid, Frankie. He emailed me, and I ended up talking to him for maybe a half hour. He's from the neighborhood, and he told me that he got caught with a gun. His girl gave him up, and now he's got a gun charge. He's looking at 3 years in jail. So he wanted some advice on how to do prison time. And I told him, I said, you know what? I said, do prison time. You go in, you mind your business, stay to yourself. The less friends you make, the better off you are. Stay quiet, do a little recreation, take some programs as far as education. If you could get your GED, get your GED. If you could teach a program, teach a program. If you know something like plumbing, electrician, you speak to one of the counselors and they'll make you teach a class. So, you could play some cards, but don't gamble. Stay away from homos and, mind your business. Do a lot of cooking. If you're doing state time, you get packages, 35-pound packages. You could get sneakers sent up, certain colors and stuff like that. Now, this is basically an education video. All the kids out there, I hope you're doing the right thing. Make your parents proud. Now, listen, I'm 52 years old. I don't recommend any young kid going to the streets. I know sometimes you fall to the streets. I think back in my day, it was more easier to fall to the streets. I'm not sure much about what's going on in the streets today. I know a lot of nonsense is going out there. But back in the day, the wise guys had more class and you looked up to them more. I think the wise guys today are more full of shit. It's not what it used to be. That's for sure, 100%. And I have a photo up here of John Polio and his nephew. Now, yesterday, John Polio was murdered 34 years. 34 years yesterday, John Polio was murdered. He was murdered at the age of 19 years old. So I want to shine light to that. Now, when John Polio was murdered, we were just young kids coming up. I was 18 years old at the time. And we were just learning about the street and our neighborhood. We knew about the neighborhood. We knew about the wise guys. We knew about the guys in the neighborhood that, who was committing murders. And we wanted to be like them. But when John Polio was murdered, this really triggered me and my friends because we said to ourselves, you know what? We want to be murdered too. And that's when we started carrying guns. Andrew Reynolds told us, Jimmy, and all friends, Georgie, Paulie, everybody, don't get into nobody's car, and don't trust anybody. And this is a time when me and Paulie G really got close. That was 1988. We really got close back then, you know. But John Polio was a good kid. When John Polio came to the neighborhood, he taught us about graffiti. He taught us about all kinds of pot, the good pot, the bad pot, and he taught us a lot. But John Polio, he really didn't know about our side of the neighborhood. He was originally from near the Marlboro Projects, West 12th, around there. And he didn't know about the mafia, how it was so installed on Bath Avenue, you know. And, you know, he made some bad blood with some people. They didn't like him. I think Frankie Americanda was one of them. And Georgie Conti copped out to his murder. We found that out later. But at the age of 19, his life was taken, okay? And his whole family's life was destroyed. He had 3 sisters. One of his sisters married my uncle, my mother's brother, so he would have been related to me. And it's just a sad story because I look back, and this is when all our problems really started, when John Polio was murdered. Because at that time, we all said to ourselves, we're not going to take no one's bullshit. And that's when we formed the Bath Avenue crew, and we got our numbers. And Paulie G became the leader of our crew. At this time, little Georgie went down to drugs. You know, growing up back in the day, little Georgie was the leader, and then Paulie G took over. And I saw in Paulie G that Paulie G was a leader because he was from Bay 23rd, I was from Bay 16th. And when John Polio was murdered, we became very tight, became very friendly. He got a memory piece of John Polio. When little Georgie Adamo was murdered, I got a memory piece of little Georgie Adamo. So, you know, a lot of people saw that in the neighborhood. They didn't like that, you know, because they knew that we loved John Polio. But I want to give a memory to John Polio, his life. You know, he didn't die for nothing. You know, they killed him for nothing. Seriously, they could have maybe broke his hands or something if he did something wrong. But they wanted to kill him because that's how the neighborhood is. They want to make an example out of kids and put a notch underneath their belt. Now that I'm a man, you know, these people, I have no respect for none of them. And I don't care for any of them. I really don't. And I could say that, and I stand on that. You know, when you're growing up, you make a lot of bad decisions in life. And hopefully, as you get older, you can fix them and you can live them down. There's a lot of things I did in my life as far as crimes that I could probably never live down. But I'm proud of the man I am today. And the people in my corner, they're proud of me also. So, and if there's anyone out there I can help with advice and be there for them, that's what I'm here for. But also, I want to say, when I put a video up, there ain't no videos coming down. I just want people to understand that, you know, because, you know, people reach out to me and they say, you know, could you take down this video? There ain't no videos coming down. I'm my own man. I don't have no bosses. I'm not in that life. I actually network with some good people. I have law enforcement friends that, you know what, I'm very happy that they're my friends, and I changed my life around. Okay, so I want people to understand that. Okay, I'm not looking for no handouts. I don't want nothing for nothing. Okay, I gave my life to God, and I'm a true believer in Jesus Christ. But the thing is, there's something inside me that I don't take no shit from nobody. I just want people to understand that. I'm a nice guy. I act accordingly. You're a gentleman to me. I'm a gentleman to you. You know what? You want to be a beast? I could be a beast too. Just to put that out there, okay? Now, with that said, I got a good show over here we're going to do today. Now, I want to talk about prison. You know, I did almost close to 14 years of my life in prison. My first bid, I did close to 6. When I cooperate with the government, after a couple months, I got picked up on this indictment with Sparrow, Joe Benanti, the Bath Avenue crew. A couple months, I flipped. Now, I didn't know who I was until maybe the age of 29 years old. My back was against the wall. I was looking at life in prison, 50 years on a plea deal. And I said, you know what? I don't want to waste my life. And I recommend all the kids out there pay attention very close, because it takes a matter of a second to destroy your life. And you're sitting in a prison cell, and you'll never ever get your life back after you make that wrong decision. Okay? So pay attention very closely. Okay? Because I was one of those kids that was in the street running around, and I was close to the street. A lot of these guys were close to mob guys, and they want to claim all that mob shit. I tell you the truth. I tell you the way it is. I don't lie. There's no lying in me. You know, I wasn't no wise guy. I was a part of the Bath Avenue crew. I had a number 2 on my leg. Paulie G was number 1. And you know, that's the road I went down. I looked up to the wise guys. I spent a lot of time around wise guys. I used to go swimming in Frankie the Chico's pool. I was very close with the Chicos when I was young. I was in and out of Sparrow Social Club. Little Georgie Adamo was Anthony Sparrow's godson. He also had another godfather, Eddie Lino. We were very friendly with him. But there's wise guys throughout all the neighborhoods, throughout all the 5 families. I was close to a lot of people, okay? But I want to start out by talking about prison, okay? Now, I did some prison time. Now, at the age of 23 years old, I went to Lewisburg Penitentiary. Now, before Lewisburg, you got pretrial. I had a bank robbery that I committed. The feds picked me up. I also had another case pending. I beat up a guy with an axe handle. Like I said, I was a young kid. I did a lot of foolish things. Used to carry around a lot of guns. I used to beat people up with assaults. And I did a couple of home invasions. And look, there's a lot of things I'm very embarrassed of. I'm not proud of them. I can tell you that. Okay? So, you know, the stories I tell you, they're my stories that I was involved in. And I'm ashamed of a lot of things I did in my life. Now that I'm a man, I have 2 children. So just hear me out. I have some photos I'll be putting up as I'm talking. Okay? So doing time in Lewisburg, before I did that time, I did time at the age of 19 in Rikers Island and Bear Hill. Now, when I first went to Rikers Island, you know what? They put you in a cell and you're in Rikers Island. Now, you know, there's not a lot of Italian guys in Rikers Island. You know, it's mainly Black and Puerto Rican. And if you got a couple of Italian guys in the building, you know, you might have a CO or a captain where you get close with and you say, listen, hey, you know what? I put another Italian guy over here in you know, in our dorm or our unit. Maybe it was C-74, C-76, whatever. Some places are dorms, some are cells. Now, phone time is always a problem because if you're a minority, which you're probably, if you're white, Italian, you're in Rikers Island, you're a minority. The Blacks and the Spanish have more power than us, but in the street, we're more organized with the 5 families, and we are, you know, money's power. If you have money, money's power, whether you're in prison, whether you're in the street. Just imagine Bill Gates. Now, does Bill Gates need the mob? Bill Gates don't need the mob because Bill Gates can hire anybody he wants. He's a multi-zillionaire. He's got so much money. So money's power. And the incentive with the mob is money. And how do you get money? Through fear. That's what they use, fear. So doing time, I went to Rikers Island. They put me in a prison cell. So I know I need a shank, right? So I ask some Black guy, you know, people are going to try to fill you out where you're from. You know, I'm from Brooklyn, Bensonhurst. They're going to fill you out. They're going to see if you know anybody. So I was away with 2 guys, some kid Joey and some other guy. I forgot his name. One guy was from Staten Island. The other guy was from Brooklyn. And we were in the same dorm together, which is good because, you know, you got people from the neighborhood. It's good. And I was in a cell where when I first got there, I was in a cell, and there was a radiator along the wall, and I pulled it out. I wanted to see if something was going to fall, and what fell was a shank. I said, "Wow, a shank!" Because when you go in Rikers Island, you need a razor or you need a shank because someone's going to try you, and if you got to hurt somebody, that's what you have to do. Because some people go to jail, you end up getting maybe a year or something, and you know what? Some people never come out because they hurt somebody, they might even kill somebody, and you're in there for the rest of your life. So you have to use your brain. The Italian people basically, when they do prison time, their main priority is walking out of prison, not spending the rest of their life in prison. Prison is not a good place to be. You don't get to spend time with your family. Uh, you don't get to eat what you want. There ain't no woman that you can be with. And it's a sad place. It really is. There's nothing good about prison, but you learn about yourself, that's for sure. So after that, they send me to Bear Hill. I do some time over there. You get 35-pound packages. Now, doing time in Rikers Island's a lot different from going upstate. When you're in Rikers Island, you have the Latin Kings, you have the Bloods, and you have, you have Yetes and other gangs and stuff like that. But Rikers Island is a lot different from going upstate. Now, if you have a beef with somebody in Rikers Island and they're in the wrong, eventually when they go upstate, they're going to pay for it because going upstate is a lot different than being in Rikers Island. When you go upstate, that's the real deal. Now you go to the courts, and if you did anything in Rikers Island that wasn't right, it's going to catch up to you when you get upstate. Believe me. Okay, that's 100%. And anybody who does prison time will tell you the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to jump to my Fed bid. I finished doing that time. I went to Bear Hill anyway. You get the packages, you get your sneakers sent up, you get your own food. And I got with a couple of Spanish guys, and they were making me rice dishes. And I love the bottom of the rice dishes. I think it's called cacao. I think it's called. But anyway, and then you get some beans, a little meat, you throw on top of the rice. But I had a good Spanish crew when I was away, and we ate very good. So moving forward, I'm going to go to my federal bid. Now, doing federal time and state time is a little different. When you do state time, the showers are open wide. You're in there with a whole bunch of other guys taking showers, and it's wide open. Everyone's Johnson's hanging out and shit like that. But now when you go to federal prison, it's different because you have dividers. Okay, it's not, it's single showers. It's different. Okay, now I caught a bank robbery. From there, I went to MDC, Manhattan. From Manhattan, you go to Otisville, pretrial back and forth, and you get to meet a lot of guys from the neighborhood and stuff like that. And I was with a lot of guys, which was good. Mike DeSantis was there, a lot of Lucchese guys, a lot of Colombo guys, and a lot of Gambino guys was there. And, you get to know these guys, some of them, from the street, and they take a liking to you. And, you hang out with them, and they teach you along the way. Some of them send you money to your commissary and stuff like that, which I didn't need at that time. I committed a lot of bank robberies, had a couple of dollars saved. Not a lot, but a couple. And also when you're away, your family misses you. You want to help your family too. So all the money you got saved, they're spending it and they're also sending it to you. So there's never enough money when you're in prison. I can tell you that, because if you could help somebody, that's what it's all about, helping somebody. So from there, I get sentenced to Lewisburg Penitentiary. Okay, I go back to Otisville. Now I'm waiting to get transferred. I don't know where I'm going. So I walk into the counselor's office, and there was some black woman. She was a sweetheart. I said, "Mrs. So-and-so, could you tell me where my destination is?" And she punches in. She said, "Okay, Calandra, I'm going to tell you. but don't tell anybody because you ain't supposed to know. And you're gonna have some of these supervisors, counselors that are very nice, and you're gonna have some ones that are assholes. But she told me, and she punched my numbers in the computer, and she said, Calandra, she said, you're going to Lewisburg Penitentiary. And then she goes like this to me. She goes, what did you do? So I didn't know anything about Lewisburg. I said, why? I said, what's Lewisburg? You're going to a maximum security, So anyway, I get transferred to Lewisburg Penitentiary. Now I'm with Mike DeSantis. I'm with a couple other people I know. So Mike DeSantis reaches out to this old timer, Oscar. Oscar was, he wasn't Italian. He was a Caesarean or something like that. But he was a serious fella. Okay, he was very close with the Lucchese family. Oscar, in some article, they said that he blew up a plane with a rocket, something like that. But he committed a lot of hits. A few people know him. Not a lot of people know him. They call him Oscar the Caesarean, something like that. And Madonna was very close with him, and Herby Sperling knew him. So Frankie Lestorino, Mike DeSantis, these guys reach out to Oscar, and he's in touch with Matty and Herby, and he tells Matty and Herby that I'm on my way to Lewisburg. So when I got to Lewisburg, before you get into Lewisburg, you have to go through a certain quaid, like you have to get quaided or something, I think it's called. And they keep you in the hole for maybe 3 to 4 days. And they want to make sure that you're okay with going out in population. They have to interview you and stuff like that. So as soon as I got there, Herby Sperling and Madonna is waiting for me. I was lucky. I was very lucky in life. I'm in a maximum security prison, and I'm surrounded by a 50-foot wall. So I'm going to throw a photo up. This way you understand what Lewisburg was like. This is Lewisburg Penitentiary. That's how big it is, okay? It was called the Big House, Lewisburg, okay? And it was a serious place. Lewisburg was a serious place, okay? I'm also going to show you the front of Lewisburg. This way you know. If you see the front, it looks like a college, but it wasn't a college. It looks pretty and stuff like that. But inside, it's some serious stuff going on. And but I downloaded it, but I didn't, I guess. But anyway, this is Lewisburg Penitentiary. This way you guys know. Okay. In the front, if you see the front right there, it looks like a college. Then when you go in, then you get into reality. You realize, you know what? This is a serious place. Now, in Lewisburg Penitentiary, you have the red top. There's a red top, and anyone who is in Lewisburg, they know what I'm talking about. That's where everyone gets shanked, on the red top. Now, today, there's probably so many cameras. Back then, when I went in 93, there wasn't no cameras. You might have had one here and there, but you also have the towers where you have the SEALs with the rifles. And if something goes wrong, they'll fucking shoot you. They have no problem shooting you, believe me. And the SEALs ain't no joke over there. They play hardball. If there's a problem, they come in, they're fucking hurting you, they're zapping you. They don't play, that's for sure. And I saw a lot of guys that walked through Lewisburg where other guys just walked up to them, shanked them, hit them, every fucking thing, okay? Got killed. For example, in Lewisburg Penitentiary, there was this kid that came in. He was doing a 5-year bid. He was a white boy. I'm not sure where he was from. He could have been from Oklahoma. I'm not sure. But he wanted to hang out with the white boys, and he started doing some drugs, dope. Now, there's 3 rules in prison you stay away from. You stay away from drugs, you stay away from homos, and you stay away from gambling. This way you don't get no debts in gambling, no debts in drugs, and you stay away from the fucking homos, okay? Because you want to make a good name for yourself, and you want to keep your company good. You want to be around good people, and you stay by yourself. When you stay by yourself, it's good, but you'll make one or two friends that you have something in common with. If you're a bank robber, you talk about robbing banks. I'm saying what you're here for, stuff like that. People want to see your paperwork as soon as you get there because they want to make sure that you're good. And that's a true story. Everyone wants to show their paperwork because they want to make sure you didn't tell. I'm saying so. But Lewisburg was fun. I did a lot of time in Lewisburg. So I'll give you a quick photo. This is Nick the Greek. This is Lewisburg Penitentiary. Okay, this is how old I was. I was 23, going on 24. This photo I might have been 24. That's Nick the Greek. He was also a bank robber. He was very famous for robbing banks. He was located somewhere in Long Island. But anyway, he ended up doing like 20 years. And me and him, we were in J Block together. I was very healthy in this pitch. I was young. I was strong. And I used to work out all the time with Jimmy Gallo. He was a Brooklyn guy. He was a wise guy with the Cavalcanti family. He was very close with Gas Pipe. But I made a lot of friends in Lewisburg. And you'll see in the course of this video that, I spent a lot. Here's another photo of me doing some time back in the day. This is a photo I sent to someone I love. As you see, this is a photo I sent to my sister about doing time, stay positive regardless of terrible things and stuff like that. Here's another photo of me doing some prison time, taking a photo near the Christmas tree and stuff like that. So I want to get into how famous Lewisburg Penitentiary was. Lewisburg, a lot of guys did time in Lewisburg Penitentiary, from Al Capone to John Gotti to spies. And I have a couple articles that I'm going to share with you. Here's one article of Al Capone. Al Capone, infamous leader of the Chicago mob, served nearly 3 years at the Lewisburg Federal Penitentiary. So you had Al Capone that spent time in Lewisburg, and you had all these serious guys, from John Gotti to Frankie DeChico to a lot of guys, and this is an article I want to share with you. United States Penitentiary, Lewisburg, infamous for its culture of violence. The Lewisburg Maximum Security Unit is known as one of the deadliest places to do time in the Western world. So Lewisburg Penitentiary was no joke. And I'm there at the age of 23 years old. And you know what? Thank God I did have some people that helped me out along the way. Now, here's a photo of me and Madonna in Lewisburg Penitentiary. Now, when I first got to Lewisburg Penitentiary, Madonna sat me down and he said, Jimmy, he said, while you're here, you're going to use this place to your advantage. Okay? Do you have your GED? I said, no. I quit school in 9th grade. He said, okay, you're going to get your GED. Then from there, you're going to take some college correspondence classes. Okay? And that's what Madonna did for me. Him and Herby Sperling was waiting for me. So I was lucky. And Madonna, he would sit down with me in the law library. We would go over some law. And he would help me get my GED, which I succeeded. And I did get my GED. And at that time, when I was doing prison time, we were allowed to take college correspondence classes. They would give them to us for free. And we did. And then after a couple years, they stopped doing it. So this is another photo of me, Madonna, and Herby Sperling. The kid in the back, I forgot his name. But these guys, Herby Sperling was the mayor of Lewisburg. At this time, Madonna was not straightened out. Nicky Barnes gave him up. These guys were very big with the Babanya. They were real tough guys. And Madonna is actually still in prison till this day. He got pinched again for something. But these guys were serious guys back in the day. I had the opportunity of being in their company. They showed me the ropes of doing time. And I was very fortunate to have them because they taught me a lot. Believe it or not, they taught me a lot. And I got very close with Madonna. And when Madonna went home. He ended up getting straightened out with the Lucchese family, and I would write him letters back and forth. I have a lot of letters that are stashed away, and he went with me to go see Anthony Sparrow and Joe Benanti, and Anthony Sparrow and Joe Benanti released me. When I was away, they killed my best friend Paulie Galino, and Matty Madonna went from a wise guy to a captain, and then eventually to an acting boss. So Matty Madonna was very big in the Lucchese crime family, and he helped me get away from my friends and put me on record with the Lucchese's, going to see Sparrow, Joe Benanti, and I left the Bananos because I was on record with them. Which once they killed Paulie G, I didn't want anything to do with them anymore. So this is a memory of John Polio. I do want a quick photo of Paulie G and Georgie in prison. Okay, Paulie G was murdered. Little Georgie Adamo was murdered. I just want to give you an idea of the life that I lived. You know, that my friends were all murdered. John Polio, Little Georgie, Paulie Galino, some of my friends also, okay? I'm giving you an idea. Now, this is also another photo in Lewisburg Penitentiary. You've seen this photo before. The guy in the back with the mustache is Joe Lika. Joe Lika was an Albanian guy out of Brooklyn. And you got a couple wise guys in there, you know. I'm at the end. I have my arm around Michael Perna. Michael Perna was a Jersey wise guy. And the other kid next to me, some kid Richie. But you got some other wise guys in there that, you know, I'm sure you know who they are. Okay. And this is another photo of me going to visit little Georgie Adamo and Elmira, my friend Sammy. That's me and my brother John. So I'm just giving you an idea of the life that I lived growing up, visiting my friends in jail, going to jail, committing crimes, looking up to these wise guys, and you know, destroying my fucking life. Seriously. But let me just give you a quick photo of me and my ex-girlfriend from back in the day. Now, this is a photo in Lewisburg. She used to come up with Richie Brady's wife. Richie Brady was caught up in the Colombo War. I think he's now a minister out of Staten Island. But that's a photo back in the day in Lewisburg. Back in the day in Lewisburg, when you went on a visit, you wore the blue jumpsuits. The blue jumpsuits, they were pretty. Now they're probably orange jumpsuits. But I caught the last of the good days in Lewisburg. And that was my ex-girlfriend, Lori. She was with me for almost 20 years of my lifetime. And she did a bid with me. And today, she has a family. She has her 3 kids. And she's happily married. God bless her. I'm very happy for her. But I throw up these photos because they're stories of my life, you know. And they're stories where, in a way, they're hurtful stories. Because deep inside, you know, I had to say goodbye to people that I once loved at one time. So, you know, I just want to give you an idea of, you know, the things I've been through in my life. And I paid a deep price in my life for committing the crimes I did and the things I did. But I made the best decision in my life was to come forward and, you know what, forget about that life. But I got a lot more photos here I'm going to share with you, okay? I have a couple articles too. Now, this is an article about, now, it says inmate Tom Broski has reached out to the community to another way. A former All-American linebacker for Iowa State, Broski was convicted of mail fraud, tax evasion, and racketeering. After realizing his mistakes, he chose to share his story with local schools to teach children that people from all walks of life can make wrong decisions. It's very true. People from all walks of life can make wrong decisions, okay? And this guy spent time in Lewisburg Federal Penitentiary. He organized 4-man teams of inmates for varying backgrounds to visit local schools. So I'm just giving you an idea of even good people can get caught up in crime. And after you're caught up, you made the mistake, it's going to last you forever. So the thing is, you have to make your crooked past right. And that's what I'm doing every day of my life. This video is going to probably go on for an hour. Hopefully you like it when it's done. Now here's another article. Now, in addition to famous Teamsters president Jimmy Hoffa, now Jimmy Hoffa did time in Lewisburg Penitentiary. Lewisburg has been the temporary home to some of America's most controversial and intriguing criminals, such as mobsters John Gotti, Al Capone, and Henry Hill. In fact, the Lewisburg Penitentiary has been known to house so many organized crime inmates that a certain area of the prison has been dubbed Mafia's Row. Al Capone, also known as Scarface, served nearly 3 years in Lewisburg Penitentiary for his role as one of the leaders of Chicago's organized crime, as well as for federal income tax evasion. Most people associate Al Capone with a well-dressed, powerful, even arrogant man, the prototype of today's stereotypical mafia gangster. Very few people are aware of the grave impact that prison life had on Capone. Okay, so when you go to prison, you could be this gangster in the street, you could be the toughest motherfucker in the street, but when you go to prison, look, everybody's tough, and you're always gonna find someone that's tougher than you. I don't give a fuck how tough you are. There's always someone tougher than you. There's someone that will walk up to you, stab you in your fucking neck, and kill you. Okay, that's what prison does to people. Okay, and when you're in prison, you got to be on your P's and Q's, and you better have a fucking knife available somewhere, because when you need it, you're going to have to use it. Okay, I'm just telling you, and I don't mean to curse, but listen, prison is no joke. That's for sure. Okay, and to all these clowns out there that talk about me with this and that, I tell you, they couldn't shine my shoes what I've been through in my lifetime. They're all a bunch of punks and rah behind a computer. Just want to put that out there, okay? I'm going to continue with the story. Now, also, this is Lewisburg Penitentiary. Okay, that's a prison cell in Lewisburg Penitentiary. This is also Lewisburg Penitentiary received even more notoriety when it was chosen as a location for the Emmy Award-winning documentary Doing Time, Life Inside the Big House, which I think shows Herby Sperling mopping floors. So I want you, if you can, check that out. The filmmaker Alan and Susan Raymond was granted full access to Lewisburg Penitentiary grounds, a facility by the Federal Bureau of Prisons, a privilege even the filmmakers themselves were surprised to receive. The couple spent 6 weeks and filmed 100 hours of footage inside the prison walls in 1990. The Raymonds focused on what they called the lifers, inmates who had no possibility of parole and were guilty of some of the most vicious crimes. The film depicts an area of the prison where inmates are held under solitary confinement for 23 hours every day. 2 prisoners are held in a 6 by 8 foot cell that was meant to house only 1 man. There are also many Cuban drug cartel members held at Lewisburg under solitary confinement every hour of the day. The Raymonds explained that the United States government tried to extradite them back to Cuba, but the Cuba government refused to receive them. So just giving you an idea of what you have inside prison. Look, you have the worst of the worst, okay? I'm talking about homeless people go to jail. Some people that are doing life, they kill you. They'll walk up to you, they'll stab you in the fucking heart just to make a court date, just to get out of prison and go to court, okay? Now, getting back to Lewisburg, what I also want to show is a couple other things. Now, me doing time in Lewisburg, here's another photo. That's Joe Gambino. He was a captain in the Gambino crime family. He's hugging me. He has his arm around me in this photo. In the middle is Richard Brady. You have a few other guys in this photo. And, look, when you're doing time, the best thing to do is program, okay? Get a job, whether it's in the kitchen. If you work in the kitchen, it's a good thing because now you make your own food. You have access to food. whether you could get hard-boiled eggs, you get some kind of protein, you can make your own food, and the kitchen is the best route to go if you're doing time. And you could also make money because people know you're working in the kitchen. You could bring them a loaf of bread, you could bring them pasta, and they have stingers. A stinger is a device where it has a cord to it, and you plug it in the wall, and it boils water for you. And what you do is you boil the pasta in the water. Listen, I was with Jamaicans who made dumplings. They boiled the water, they put in. I had every walk of life I dealt with inside jail, and I was friendly with every walk of life. Black people, Jamaican people, Spanish people, Chinese people, Mexican people, Italian people, Irish people. You have every walk of life in prison, okay? And you have a lot of tough guys. And if you're online, and God forbid, you step on their toe by accident, you say, I'm sorry and excuse me. Believe me, because I don't care who you are, anybody could get killed, just like the street inside prison. So this is a lesson. I hope you guys are listening and paying attention. Now, this is also a photo in Lewisburg Penitentiary. Madonna is in this photo. He has the blue short shirt. Joe Gambino is in the middle next to Mike Sessa. I'm on the end. Nick the Greek is in this photo. Richard Brady. This is another Lewisburg photo. So this is just giving you an idea that I spent a lot of time in prison, okay? Almost 14 years of my life in prison I spent. And all these guys who bragged, they went to prison, you know what? They went to prison. A lot of them, they were drug addicts in the street, okay? And they fucked up. They were giving notes to bank tellers, and they got caught up, and they went to jail. And a lot of them say, yeah, they did time. And they had no one to tell on. That's why they did their time, okay? I'm just putting that out there because all these guys brag, yeah, they did time. Bro, you're not cool doing time, okay? It's not cool. There's nothing cool about doing time. Now, this is what you do when you go to prison. This is like a cell in an H block in Lewisburg Penitentiary. You got a 2-man cell, and sometimes you have a 1-man cell. I think they did away with the 1-man cells. You don't even have them no more. As you see, there's a little mirror over there. That mirror, you can't even see yourself. You see your shelf over there? There's a shelf over there where you can put your little stuff on there. You see where you could sit down and you write your letters to your people in the street. That's what a prison cell looks like. And that's a clean one. Okay, there's some that are disgusting. And then if you got to use the bathroom, you got to take a dump, you have to take a dump in front of your cellie. Okay, he'll usually put something around, maybe a towel around his eyes where you could take a shit. And you got that little sink over there where it's bullshit. I'm saying, so I don't recommend anybody committing crime out there because this is where you're going to end up for the rest of your life. I hope I'm knocking some sense into one kid out there when you're watching this. This is another photo of me, Matty, Madonna, and Richard Brady. Me and Richard Brady actually graduated together in Lewisburg. I should have put that photo up too. I didn't. But also, this is the law library where we would meet at nighttime, me and Matty, and we would go over law. And, but doing time, listen, doing time, you can meet some good people, but there's also a lot of bad people out there in prison, okay? It's not nice. There's nothing nice about it. But here's another prison cell, just to give you an idea. This is a 1-man cell. They really don't make too many 1-man cells. 1-man cells are for problem people. Like, some people can't cell with another inmate or another convict. Now, an inmate and a convict are two different people, too. An inmate is someone that is someone in prison, and he goes by the rules. A convict is somebody that's more dangerous. He's there and he don't go by the rules. This photo, I think I put up already. This is another photo I threw up. Yes, I did. This is another photo. This is in Lewisburg Penitentiary, too. I got Frankie Lestarino behind me. Joe Gambino is next to Frankie Lestarino. Richard Brady. The guy with the glasses at the end is Vic. He's from Chicago. Now, sitting next to me on the bottom is Patty Della Russo. He's now the underboss of the Lucchese family. They say he's not, but he's somebody. You can't leave a fucking family. It's impossible. Next to him is Michael Sessa. Now, Michael Sessa has a sad story because his own brother testified against him. Now, that's pretty crazy. That's something I could never, ever fucking do in my life. And next to Michael Sessa is Nick the Greek. So this is just to give you guys an idea. Now, this is what you're going to find in prison. Okay, people working out. You work out in prison because you want to relieve the stress. We are dealing with stress every day of our lives inside prison, even outside prison. Okay, that's why I try to work out. I do push-ups every day, throw some weights around, do a little walking because there's a lot of stress. And you could get anything you want inside of prison. There's a lot of drugs inside prison, whether you could get a visit from your girlfriend. She gives you a kiss. She has a bag in her mouth. She transfers it from her mouth to your mouth. And then later on, when you take a shit, you go through your shit, and now you got a balloon, and you could sell those drugs. Okay. Anyone who's doing life in prison, believe me, they are probably selling drugs. They're making some form of money to support their family. And inside prison, people only become better criminals. So, you got to program, mind your business, and do your own thing, just to give you an idea. I'm trying to give you, idea about prison and how it works. Now, this is me. Now, from Lewisburg, I went to a medium. Okay, this is over here. The guy with the glasses is Chucky Porter. Chucky Porter was the boss of Pittsburgh at one time. Next to me in the middle is Ralph Tortino. He's a Bronx guy. He's got a cigar in his hand. Okay, he was a funny guy. And at the end with the red and white jacket on is Mike the Head. He was a wise guy. He's not a wise guy. He was an associate with the Bananos. Me and him sold together. He ended up having a stroke. I actually saved his life. And later on, when I came home, I went to his daughter's wedding. My girl and his daughter were very good friends back in the day. But that's a very classy photo back in the day, just to give you an idea of all these people. Now, look, when I did prison time, I made a lot of friends. I was a gentleman to people. I was no slouch. Believe me, people knew I was not one to reckon with. I was a young kid. I was strong. I was healthy. I was respectable to everybody. If I had a problem, I took care of it. That's how it was, I didn't cooperate because I was scared of prison. I cooperated because I didn't want to spend the rest of my life inside prison. I don't want to waste my life inside prison. And the crime that I was involved in with Tommy Reynolds, Chris Paciello, and the kid Michael Yamin, when we knocked on that door and Tommy killed that lady by accident, that's not something I signed up for. So I didn't want that life. I went there to rob a safe. And then once I'm away, my friends kill my best friend, Paulie G. So everyone has their own story. I'm not justifying why I cooperated. It's the best thing I did in my life. Where I am today, I'm a very successful guy, okay? I have a job as a Teamster. I got this little YouTube channel. Hopefully it grows. I've God in my life. I help other people if I can. And this is where I am. And I'm happy where I'm at. So to all you jealous people out there that are jealous of me, keep on watching, because wait until you see what's next to come. I'm only going to rise up and get better and better. That's it. And with God in my life, there is nothing stopping me, just to let you know. So let me see what else we got over here. So we got that photo also, and this photo. Okay. That's with Herby and Matty. Now I want to get back to Herby and Matty and, doing time with them. Herby used to take action in Lewisburg Penitentiary. When he used to take action, he used to give me a bag of old cigarettes and a book of stamps, okay? And he would give me a piece of paper where I have to deliver them. Some of them had to go to A block, some had to go to J block, some had to go to B block. And I would deliver these cartons of cigarettes and books of stamps to certain people. And at the end of the week, you had to pay them or they had to pay you. But Herby Sperling, let me tell you something. He's a legend in the prison system. He's dead now. But back in his day, at that time, he was maybe in his 50s when I spent time with him. And he had a lot of respect. He used to slap me with a thing of napkins. He used to slap me. Bang. Okay? And you say, "Here, Jimmy, here's a stack of napkins. Go put them on the front 2 rows of the movie theater." And that's what I used to do. And everyone knew, the Mexicans, the blacks, every nationality knew that those were our 2 front row seats. Not sure if they still have those seats, if they were still holding them down. But back in the day, Lewisburg had a movie theater. You go see the movies on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And it was a great time. It really was. It was a fun time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now, also, in prison, eating is a big thing. You have certain people that are in your company and you eat with them. You become very friendly with them. Lewisburg, every block has 3 tiers. You have 1 tier, 2 tiers, and 3 tiers. But I'll tell you, spending time when I was a kid, I'm glad it's behind me. But I also seen all these old timers in jail getting old and never ever coming home. There's one guy I spent time with. He was in J Block with me. His name was Louis Red Gatto. He was a Genovese guy. And I would go with him to the commissary and I would carry his bag for him because he was really an old timer and very well respected. He got a life bid. He had a son-in-law too. I forgot his name. But look, there was a lot of guys inside there. A lot of Philly guys at the time with too. And listen, in jail, you give respect and you get respect. Okay? And whatever you are, it's going to come out. So if you're a tough guy, you're going to be respected. If you're a coward, then they're going to know you're a coward. But listen, I got a lot of lessons in prison. I spent a lot of time with a lot of guys that are never coming home, and a lot of guys did come home. But looking back on my life, I'm happy where I'm at today. It was an experience of a lifetime that I don't wish on anybody, but a lot of times, you do meet good people and they give you lessons in life. Another guy I spent time with was from Ohio. His name was Joe Gallo. He was the boss of the Cleveland mob. And, listen, one thing about federal prison, you get people from all over the country. In state prison, for example, New York, you get only New York. Now, the thing is, too, if you're in D.C. and if you robbed a pack of bubble gum, you're going to federal prison. In D.C., everything is federal. So that's another sick thing. So you got the D.C. guys that go to federal prison. They're like, really, those people you have to stay away from because they're grimy, those people, unless they're about something, But you got to be careful. A lot of people rob lockers in prison, like the grimy motherfuckers. And prison, look, is not a nice place. So to all you youngins out there, do the right thing. Don't go to jail. I'm telling you. If you have children, stay out, get a job. Okay? If I could help you with anything, reach out to me. I'd love to help kids go in the right direction. And this is where I at in my life right now. Okay? I don't glorify these people. I tell my stories. I interview other people. But my life is going in the right direction. All that other shit is behind me. Okay? So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As you see the ticker, check it out. I'm saying I got my old merch. I don't have much of it left. It's all going to be gone. I got new stuff coming in. I'm building a website. The website should be up within the next 3 weeks, a month. I'm working on it. You can have one-on-one phone calls with me. You could buy merch. I'm going to have some new hats, shirts, new stuff coming out. And, hopefully a lot of good things are ahead. I want to build my channel. I want to, a book. I'm doing that, working on that. So a lot of things are happening. So I want to give this memory to John Polio. He was 19. At the age of 19, he was murdered. And that is when we formed the Bath Avenue crew. And all of our lives were destroyed. Whether my friends were murdered, whether people went away to prison for a long time, and whoever had to cooperate. But regardless of anything, we all did prison time. I didn't get no slap on the wrist. For my cooperation, I got 8 years. Okay. I didn't get no time. You went home. That did not happen. Okay. So I did time in solitary confinement. I did time in prisons. I did a lot of time. And in the course of doing time, you lose people too you can't be there for. So think before you do. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a message to be heard. With that said, to all you people out there, have a great day. I love you guys. Thank you all for the support. You guys are the best. To the Calandra family, to all my followers, I'm always here for you. And with that said, have a great day. Stay strong and keep God in your life. With God, you can do anything and nothing can touch you. Love you guys. Bye.
The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.